Awesome to see people here really engaged in the democratic process, and awesome to see pro-Trump people here. I mean, this is democracy. They have the right to protest, and I'm genuinely curious as to what they're protesting, because Bernie Sanders is, again, the most popular politician in America. Doesn't mean that everyone agrees with him, but it does mean that there is a significant schism between Trump supporters and Bernie Sanders supporters, despite what the Democratic establishment would have you believe, that they are one and the same, white and racist sometimes. You know, Kamala Harris, any criticism of her is obviously racist. Same with Maxine Waters. Not to the Young Turks. Anyone, any pro-Trump supporters want to talk? Interesting. We just want to see why you guys are here. Hey there. What's your name?
Alex.
Alex?
Yes.
So you are a Trump supporter in this kind of liberal area where Bernie Sanders is coming to speak. Can you explain why you're here and why you're standing out here with the Trump Pen sign?
Because I'm all about jobs too. That's about it. Just practicing my First Amendment. Everybody's being cool. I was down here a little bit earlier today before these guys showed up, so I figured I'd come back down, and I never got to see Bernie speak, so I figured I'll see what it's all about.
So are you obviously practicing your First Amendment? You say you're all about jobs. Are you into the Bernie message, into the labor movement message here?
Not at all.
Not at all.
Not at all.
Can you explain?
His whole campaign policies and plans kind of deflect from the fact that he can't create any jobs with his economic plan. It's hard to create jobs when you want to create more taxes. It just really doesn't make sense like that. So.
But what about the example that he cited about carrier? So Trump promised that he'd bring these carrier jobs, and now there have been...
He promised that some carrier jobs are going to stay. My uncle worked for carrier, so I kind of got a down low about this. He said some jobs are going to stay and 800 jobs stayed. I don't see the problem with that, dude. I don't.
But at the expense of corporate taxes, which could go towards jobs, towards infrastructure, 600 jobs have left.
I would rather corporations get welfare than a lot of other people, seeing out the fact that they employ people. If they get taxes, they can create more jobs. If they're spending less money, they can pay more money.
But what about the fact that income inequality is worse than it ever has been?
Income inequality.
You don't believe in
Not at all.
Okay. Can you say that again?
I was once really, really poor, and now I'm really, really not. I worked really, really hard. That's about all you have to do. That's all you have to do.
So it's a meritocracy, you're saying?
It's get up and do something. I'm 26 years old and I own my own business.
I believe in supporting yourself, yes, and getting a good job and working your way up. If you are on a living wage, that is not meant for people to climb the ladder. It is meant to keep them where they are. It is meant to keep them where they are.
It is meant to keep them where they are.
People are not to live on a wage that the government sets. That is not an incentive to climb the ladder.
So you don't believe in the minimum wage at all?
I don't, you're putting words in my mouth.
Well, you said, I'm just curious because you said that the government shouldn't set the wage.
I don't think the government should set the wage for an employer, no. Because, they know what they can pay their employee. They have to balance their budget, unlike our government. And we're trillions of dollars in debt.
Just one last question. What do you think about the studies that say that the minimum wage hasn't kept up with inflation and that it should be more around $11 or plus if people want to survive on their own?
I say that's not right. I think that if people want to survive on their own, they need a better education and they need to get a better paying job.
Well, what about the student loan debt?
The student loan debt?
Yeah, it's like $33,000 average.
When I was growing up, you went to college, you got a loan, and you paid off your debt. The government didn't pay it for you.
We're just curious because it's a workers' rally. I know Trump said a lot about doing stuff for workers, giving them higher wages, giving them more employment. But what's been talked about a lot here is the carrier deal, which he championed, and how essentially he said no jobs would be lost, but around 600 have been lost. Do you guys have a response to those facts?
I don't work for him.
I guess I don't either.
I just mean as supporters, you're carrying Trump signs, so...
I'm learning.
You're learning?
Something like that.
I just don't, I don't agree with anything that Bernie says, but I mean, I get it. The middle class is being crushed, and we all want the same things. I promise, it's just this is not the way to go about it.
What about Bernie's? What about Bernie's?
We got some facts, y'all.
Okay.
I forgot about these. We got facts. Nope. I cannot quote any of them. Oh, want me to read them to you? You get a good shot? Okay. Illegal border crossings down 64%. Arrests at the border down 53% from 2016. Arrests of criminal illegal aliens in the country is up 40%, nearly 400 per day. More difficult in sanctuary cities. Support for the RAISE Act in the Senate, sponsored by Senators Tom Cotton and David Perdue, which would cut yearly legal immigration numbers in half, along with other common sense controls based on merit. Dramatic reduction of crushing regulations. 860 regulations rescinded, suspended, or delayed. Moving forward on applications for oil and natural gas drilling.
Where did you get this from?
Those kind ladies over there.
Ah. You guys are
About
trolls.
the internet. They told me the internet.
You guys are not. Yeah, all right.
I'm not a
Get to
troll.
the best part.
I'm a learner.
Which is what liberals.
I got
Hey,
this from
I don't.
them.
I'm no fan of.
I'm holding this. We're having a conversation about conservatism and libertarianism.
All right. You got open minds. That's all. That's
I have
good.
on mine. She listens to WIBC. I listen to 95.9.
It's a conservative libertarian talk show. Yes.
Well, good talking to you guys. Thanks for speaking with me. Thanks, guys. I don't think they know much.